Okay, so a while back, again using what was from the Oreo packaging, I had done a battle between an older, more Emperor Palpatine style, and an older Obi Wan Kenobi. They got quite a few comments to it. Lots of people saying there's no way that could happen. Then some people saying, well, if Obi Wan had the high ground, yes, it would. So let's look at the younger versions of them. So I tried to pick the best Obi Wan Kenobi one that at least had him in an action pose, as well as Darth Sidious. This, of course, is the classic I am the Senate. So as always, as I go through this, if you disagree, that's what the comment section is for. If you like. If you don't like, there's the down button. All right, intelligence. Let's be honest. That's definitely going to easily go to Darth Sidious. If you look at what he was able to actually accomplish, he manipulated the Senate, the Separatists, the Jedi, clone commanders. I mean, he had everything. He played both sides of the exact same war and did a phenomenal job at it. Fighting ability. I'm going to give that one to Obi-Wan. Now, hear me out on this. You're probably thinking, but wait, didn't we see Sidious take out 3 Jedi at the same time? Yes. And then when it came to a one-on-one combat, he almost lost to Mace Windu had it not been for Anakin showing up. Obi-Wan at this time, this is Attack of the Sith, this is the time when he was able to defeat Anakin. And Anakin was easily at his prime when it came to his ability of combat. In a similar way, he did also defeated General Grievous. Yes, he did use a blaster, but he was still able to hold his own against a notorious Jedi killer. Strength, again, physical strength. Obi-Wan, he's someone he's been in almost a near constant war throughout the entire time of the Clone Wars. He is very much at a peak physical condition. So, speed. All right. I will use the novelization did a pretty good job when it came to the way this fight sequence would actually play out. If you go back and rewatch the I Am the Senate, the Jedi that are there, they kind of walk in with it. There's no way he's going to attack all 4 of us. And then he pulls out his lightsaber and he speed blitzes 3 Jedi. If you watch as he does it's called a Psycho Crusher, and next you know, 3 of the Jedi are dead. I do picture in this sort of contest, it's going to come down to that opening salvo. If Obi-Wan can survive, functionally a very quick speed blitz, he stands a chance. But as we saw when he took out, 3 fairly accomplished duelists, he did it by catching them by surprise, catching them flat-footed, and just speed blitzing them. Invulnerability. This goes to a combination of a couple things. One, very often around this time, there was some light armor being worn by Obi-Wan in this picture where he doesn't have any on. But also with his style of lightsaber combat, it is all defensive in nature. So I definitely do think that he does have the ability to definitely defend some of those initial attacks. I think this is going to give him a bit of an edge in this sort of thing. You're looking at one person going to fight offensively, one person's there fighting defensively. Again, if you go back and you watch the battle between Anakin and Obi-Wan, he's not trying to kill him. He's trying to stop him. Anakin's style, I'm sorry, Obi-Wan's style, Form 3, is very much a defensive style. And with him being trained with a defensive style, if you read some of the Jedi handbooks, Form 3 is great because you can have a really fantastic defensive capabilities to yourself, and it's more or less there to wear your opponent down. Part of the reason why Anakin had an issue with Obi-Wan, Anakin using, of course, Form 5, as a combination of Form 3 but more aggressive, is it does have the ability to tire you out. And you can tell in that battle, Obi-Wan is doing everything that he can to just extend the battle, hoping that he can say something that would actually break Anakin in such a way that Anakin would stop the battle. And that was the way Obi-Wan fought the majority of the time. So, and with those 2 combinations, he does have, I would say, a much better degree of physical skill in this sort of fight. He's been fighting for years at a time, peak physical condition. The way his fighting style is it is defensive in nature. We also have seen that he did the ability to deflect force lightning. We did against Count Dooku, and he's been doing this for several years at this time. So he definitely is someone who's not going to get tired in this sort of battle. Energy rejection. This is Sidious. Something that we saw when he took on Yoda. He's got this insane amount of just raw ability, whether it's lightning, throwing the seats of the Senate. He just has just a much more devastating overall ability when it comes to the Force. And same with versatility. Some of the other things that Darth Sidious was known to use is and something that he used to great effect. He had the ability to cloud the minds of people. That's why in the Jedi, here you have a Sith master who is in very close proximity to a council of Jedi masters, some of the most highly skilled Jedi, and they're like, oh, we can't really decipher what's going to happen in the future. Yes, that was partially Sidious's doing. So beyond the overall physical, tangible abilities, he does have just that fantastic sense of clouding judgment. And it's like, if you combine those two, you have the physical and the mental aspects. X Factor. This one's going to go to Darth Sidious. Obi-Wan's defensive. Obi-Wan's not really a killer. I mean, you could tell that after Obi-Wan defeated Anakin, the the way he looks at him, and does he finish him off? No. He leaves him. He grabs his lightsaber and he leaves him. He knows at that moment that he failed because he couldn't save Anakin. So he condemned Anakin to his fate. He's not going to be able to have that against Darth Sidious. He's not going to be able to try to reason with him, because this is exactly what Sidious wants. Sidious wants the Jedi to attack him. He wants to be able to use all of the propaganda he has, all of the manipulation abilities that he has, to be like, the Jedi attacked me and this is what happened. We also see too later on when Darth Sidious, after he's been scarred by Mace Windu, how he was able to defeat Yoda, and he was able to defeat Yoda by overpowering him, as well as using the Senate his advantage. Yoda using the I think it's not Form 7. Is it Form 6 Utaro? Using Utaro, he needs a lot more maneuverability, and Sidious was able to take away all of that ability to fight and to spin and to move by putting him in a spot where it's you have to jump to get to me, but I'm throwing things at you. And this is what Sidious wants. Sidious wants the Jedi to be viewed as the villain, and he knows that the Jedi attack him, he's very able to spin that. This is the time when there is no loss for Darth Sidious. There is no assuaging him of his viewpoint. He has so many additional skills at his ready. If this is a straight fight, Obi-Wan stands a chance. In a similar way to what Mace Windu did. Mace Windu was able to withstand that opening salvo and, for the most part, hold his own and do a good job of almost destroying Sidious. Obi-Wan could probably get to that point, but I don't think Obi-Wan has the ability. I think he has the ability, but he doesn't have the lack of moral compass when it comes to actually fully destroying someone like Darth Sidious. Where Darth Sidious knows, if he were to be killed by a Jedi, then everything he wants still comes to fruition.